Hey, what is up, everybody? I don't know about you guys, but 2024 kicked my butt. Yes, sir, it did. And January 1st did as well. And I'm going to tell you about it here shortly. Anyway, I'm just chilling out. I have to go to work a little bit later. The skies are looking beautiful. Little on the frigid side. I think everybody's experiencing that and definitely about to experience it a little bit more. And want to tell you a couple things off the cuff here, off of my memory bank. No notes jotted down today. As soon as I finish this video, I guarantee I'll forget to have told you something. But about a week ago, I stayed at a hotel in Pensacola, courtesy of some kind friends. And the weather was just god awful. It was torrential downpours. It had been raining for a couple days. There was a lot of tornado warnings in the area, like literally all around. And I hadn't slept in a bed in almost a year and a half, like a real bed. So I was kind of looking forward to that. So I checked in, and it was so funny. The place I checked into, it was room number 302, and I'm from Delaware, and the area code in Delaware is 302. So somewhat deep down inside, I felt like that was a sign. So I had purchased a good bit of food that I could prepare easy enough and eat okay, and just wanted to take a nice shower without being, at a fitness center where there's people all around, and it's not the most comforting feeling. But so I was able to accomplish that, chill out. I had a real big screen TV, and there were some college football games on. So literally all I did was the chair that they had with the desk, it was kind of not comfortable. So I just I had like 4 or 5 pillows on my bed. So I just put one pillow on the seat, kicked off my shoes, put a pillow up on the little hutch there, and just sat back and relaxed, had some cold snacks, and just watched 2 college football games. I haven't been able to do that forever. The only time I ever watch any bit of football is at a sports bar or something like that, if I get something to snack on. And there's usually people talking. You don't always get to watch what you want to watch. So I was able to do that. And the one cool thing was I was watching the University of Miami game, which was a close game, really close game. And their quarterback, Cam Ward, supposed to be like the number 3 pick in the draft, 1, 2, or 3, I forget what it is. And so he had an agreement he wasn't going to play in the second half. So his backup quarterback was a former quarterback at Milton High School. So he's known to be a really good athlete, a very good quarterback. He had some struggles. It was a tough game. They ended up losing by a point at the end. But that was kind of interesting because I heard so much about this kid from Milton High School, but I had never seen him play. So that was kind of interesting. So I always like to sleep with the TV on. For me, it's soothing. It's just good for me. Quiet just tears me up. But they kept talking about all the tornado warnings in the area that were in effect until like 2 a.m. So I kept hearing that over and over again. So I was kind of like almost sleeping with one eye open, so to speak. But at least I was in a good, strong shelter. And it turned out there were some tornadoes in different areas. And so I wake up the next morning. I had a little frozen breakfast meal, went downstairs, got a cup of coffee. I was really going to chill out early in the morning, but since the weather was still crappy, I was contemplating going to Big Lagoon State Park to hike the trails. something deep down inside was telling me, you may want not do that, because I had such a hard time the last time I went there, and the van broke down. I was 40 miles from home base, and it was very expensive to get towed back. So I load everything up in the van, turn the key, and she's running rough as hell, and check engine lights blinking. I'm like, man, why does this always happen to me? So had extreme loss of power. I was able to limp it back to Milton. Been struggling. It would run good for a little while, and then just sputter and run real rough, and it just kept doing that for a couple days. And I went to O'Reilly's, got a diagnostic report with their diagnostic machine, and that's pretty interesting. I may do a video and show that process. But it was showing cylinder 3 had failure, and that was the one I replaced, I don't know, 6 months ago or whatever it was. Brand new ignition coil and new spark plug. So I know sometimes if you don't clear the codes, it could reoccur. So I don't know if that was what was doing it, but it was still stored in the memory bank history. So I remember a mechanic one time telling me, get a product called, excuse my sinus infection here, told me to get a product called Heat, H-E-E-T. And I think the first time I purchased it, I never did use it, couldn't find it. And then I went in there looking, I was looking real closely, and I'm glad that I did look, because it was like a little red bottle, and it's for fuel injection cleaning, and it's supposed to remove moisture from the gas or anything like that. So for $2.99, I said, what the heck, I doubt for $2.99 it's going to solve my problem, but might as well start with the cheapest fix and work my way up the budget chain. So I did that. You can't just dump it in. You have to dump it in and then put fuel in there, and it's recommended you do it like on a full tank. I probably had, I'm guessing about a half a tank, because my gas gauge is broken, so it was just a guess. So I put that in there, had a good amount of pressure and speed with the gas going in to get a good mix. And then it started gradually running a little bit better, but every time I got to around 35 or 40 miles an hour, it started bucking and kicking real bad. And so I kind of dealt with that for a couple days, and it finally started gradually getting better, but it would still kick and buck around 35, 40 miles an hour. So yesterday it started running really, really well. So I was feeling confident that, this product works. And I wasn't sure if I need to do it more than once or not. And it was really running so smooth. Knock wood. Good golly, Miss Molly. But so I get to work last night, do all that. I remember this restaurant a couple 100 yards away had a spaghetti dinner special. So I'm like, cool, I order that. Get out in the van, turn the key, and it would not start for nothing. I don't know how to describe it. I call it like a dry start. It wasn't going like click, 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 or, barely turning over. It was trying to start, but it was just felt like it was not getting any fuel. I tried that about a dozen times, so I was really ticked. So I already placed the order, and they were already making it. So I walked over there, picked up my food, came back, tried it again, it would not start. So now I'm really ticked off because I'm parked in a really bad spot. No protection, so to speak. It's kind of wide out in the open where the police could see me, come harass me, and I was just not feeling it, because we're going to have about 7 to 10 days of 30 degrees or less. Next week's going to be really bad. We got a lot of nights in a row. It's going to be around the low 20s. It'd be nice to be able to have heat so I don't friggin' die. So I get off work last night a little bit early, and I just tell the one guy I work with what happened. And he said, well, I can come give you a jump. I said, well, no need to hurry. I said, I'll be there in an hour and a half. I'm not going anywhere. Sure as heck, I come out, get in the van, turn the key, starts right up. Starts right up. No problems. I'm like, man, what? You talk about the stress, man. It's like every day. You just like, I honestly, from dinner on the rest of the night, I thought, all right, this is going to be the nail in my coffin. I really, really am tired of all this daily extreme stress due to finances and or lack of. So I leave, drive to where I go to Boondock. It's running fine, no problems. This morning, I ran the van all night long, didn't stall, didn't stutter, no check engine light blinking or anything like that. Drove around all morning. It's running fine. It's not bucking and kicking at 35, 40 miles per hour. So I endorse that product called Heat, the one that's for fuel injection cleaning for $2.99. I'm very impressed. That is probably the cheapest fix to a major problem I've ever incurred in my entire life. So I need to check with the O'Reilly's Auto Parts, see if it's something I need to do periodically. Do I do it in a week? Do I do it in 2 days? Do I do it in 2 months? Or do I just leave it alone until I incur more problems? But anyway, enough of the vehicle problems. And it really sucks because my YouTube channel has really grown. I feel like the content's gradually getting better. I have a lot of goals, but a lot of these goals require traveling. And just the stress of breaking down 40 miles away from home base really sucks. So it limits me. I have no problem going 50, 60 miles or longer as long as I know I can get there and come back and not on a tow truck. So with that being said, let me get on to some work problems. Got this one kid at work. I won't mention his name, but when he works on a specific project, he's a really good worker. He has started to become a cancer. He just really got too big for his britches. And so on Monday night, which was the night before New Year's Eve, he proceeds to tell me at the end of the night, he goes, oh, by the way, tomorrow I'm leaving early. No asking your supervisor or trying to, schedule it. I mean, New Year's Eve every year. You know when it's coming. It's not a surprise. So I just because he didn't ask, he's telling me. I'm like, well, no, you're not. He goes, yeah, I am. I'm like, no, you're not. And so we go through that routine. Had he politely asked or phrased it in a nice way or pre-scheduled it, I probably would have worked with him if possible. But unfortunately, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day are one of the busiest days of the year, so it's hard to accommodate that. But I try to be accommodating. But when an 18-year-old kid is telling me what he's going to do, telling his supervisor versus asking, no, Chief, you don't get it. It doesn't work that way. So we go round and round and round, and then the next day rolls around, and he goes, yeah, just letting you know, I'm leaving early. And I'm like, no, you're not. He goes, yeah, I am. I'm like, no, you're not. You don't get how this works. And he goes, well, you can't keep me here. You're right. I'm not going to hold you hostage, but don't expect a warm welcome. You may not have a welcome at all. So we go around there, and he goes, well, I already got permission. So he backdoored me and went to a different female supervisor who's a front-end supervisor who knows nothing about my responsibilities and my workload and how many employees I have. And he kind of told a different story. He kind of, that old deal, if daddy says no, go to mommy. Well, that's exactly what he did. So there was 2 female supervisors involved. So now I just want to flip out on everybody because everybody's doing everything wrong here, except for me. I'm upholding company policy. So I pulled the one lady aside, and she gave me better insight. So it wasn't exactly how he portrayed it. He told a different story. He was trying to say he asked for it off, and it was to because his grandmother was coming into town. Well, homeboy already knows his grandmother's been there for a week or more because I had a conversation with his mother and the grandmother in the store. So he's lying. So we're going through this battle, and he's starting to be very combative verbally. And I said, dude, you pretty much need to shut up because you're digging a hole. And he goes, I'm leaving. He goes, call what you want, I quit or whatever. And I said, okay, I got no problem with that. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell Jimmy. I'm tell Jimmy that's how you feel about this job, and you don't care. If you don't care, I don't care. So good luck in your next career. So he keeps trying to, and I said, dude, shut up, because you're not going to win this battle. At that point, I'd had enough. No 18-year-old kid's going to boss me around. And he just needs to be set in his place. So finally, he realizes, like, I see him get all ticked off, and I see him leave. He walks out the front door, and I see him, and I'm like, good, that's the best thing, you know. Plus, when he did that initially the night before, he did it in front of 4 or 5 other employees. So you think you're going to set precedent and have all the inmates run the warden? No, it doesn't work that way, Chief. No, not today, not tomorrow. So anyway, so he I guess recouped his better senses and came back in, and he told me, he says, what do you want me to do? And I said, don't ask me, ask Sarah. You work for Sarah now. You don't work for me. And he, oh man, you talk about a young 18-year-old kid becoming livid. I said, don't ask me. You don't work for me anymore. You work for Sarah. So it was an interesting exchange. And finally he kept coming. He goes, I can't leave early at all. And I'm like, no, dude. You did everything wrong. And you're going to learn from this. You can do it the right way or you can do it the wrong way. And part of being a mature, responsible adult and worker is acknowledging your mistakes. Own up to your mistakes and then move on. Because people will have more respect for you for doing that than trying to constantly just feel you're in the right when you're in the wrong. So, homeboy never did leave early. He stayed until 10 o'clock, and I could go on and talk about that. He was scheduled till 10. He's supposed to work a little bit later when he doesn't have school the next day, and he did not. So I just kind of let him leave a tad bit early because pretty much all the chores, sweeping and mopping was covered. So the store manager's on vacation, so I'm not going to bother him with that problem while he's on vacation, but there is going to be a discussion about that. Didn't want to go too much on a tangent about that, but that's kind of stupid stuff I'm dealing with. Oh, then one of the guys yesterday, scheduled to be there at 2 o'clock, around almost 2:30, I'm calling him, hey man, you okay? What's going on? Blah, blah. He said, no, I'm scheduled off today and tomorrow. I'm like, no, you're not. You're scheduled, you know. Had to go around with that, and it was just non-stop stuff with the employees, man. It's just to find responsible employees that know how to show up on time, not leave early, not whine and bitch and moan about every little damn thing. It's very tough nowadays, very tough. But I'm not somebody's doormat. Not now, not tomorrow. But just wrote a bunch of to-do videos. I've done this in the past. I need to find my old form, but different content I want to do, and I have some really cool leads on some really cool stuff. Picked up a couple things just now at Walmart. Going to be related to some videos I'm doing in the near future. So I'm real excited about that. I'm not excited about the cold. I don't function too well in the cold because I become miserable, as you probably can tell. But so the funny thing was, when part of my meal, if you watched my short video about black eyed peas, supposed to represent wealth, prosperity, good health, good fortune. Well, one of the sides I purposely ordered with my spaghetti meal was black eyed peas. So I had some of that. And I think I've had it before in the past. I just don't remember. I know it's been a while. So the whole time is like I'm pissed because I know my van is broken down and won't start. And I'm thinking catalytic converter. I'm thinking all these things that are big bucks. But I'm forcing myself to eat black eyed peas because I'm superstitious. And then lo and behold, when I leave at the end of the night, I turn the key. She runs just fine. Thank you, black eyed peas. I appreciate you. I just thought about one more thing. Go over to JJ Drones on YouTube and Facebook, and also the Lee and Betty Johnson Memorial Charity. Jason Johnson has a real cool video about his contribution, the charity's contribution to Mission 22. He received some items in the mail from somebody, a really cool subscriber, me, that I was real happy to do, very proud of, and it montaged so well with his video. It was just epic. So I know there's a lot more I want to tell you, but I think I've talked long enough. See you on the next adventure, folks. Hopefully we're going to bring you some better content. By the way, tomorrow, most likely, 99.9%, I'm going to have a very short video showing you a new milestone I have reached. Very excited about that. Talk to you next time, folks. And remember, always know your legal limits. And when you can, get out to nature and let it soothe your soul.